Alright, welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. Add in this little accent plant that I've got here. It's a little pineapple. I don't know if you guys can see it all that well. I'm going to zoom in a minute. A lot of people that don't live in the tropics have never really seen how one of these grows. This is what they call a little ornamental pineapple. My understanding is that it's actually edible, but you'd go through, this is a full-grown one from one that I have out in the yard. But you'd go through a whole lot of work there to get maybe like one bite. I'm guessing you'd get something about the size of a pinky nail. But this is actually the structure that a regular pineapple would grow onto. It gets the shoot out of the middle, and then that's its inflorescence, which is a bloom. And then after a little while, this will get another pup off the side. And you could also, like if I actually grew this one from a pineapple like this, that I actually took the top of it off and I planted it in this pot here. It's been about 2 years and it's grown, you know, I finally got a bloom off of it. I'll probably have to put it in a little bit of a bigger pot because after it blooms, the plant dies and then it gets to pump pups off the side. But I thought it was just something we could look at there real quick that was kind of interesting. And that's it in a little bit better detail. Alright, I hope you guys like the look at the pineapple there. And then this is the first rain tree I've been kind of going with. Every time I do a rain tree video, I update you on the last one that I cut back and then kind of do a new one. This is the last video I made was this one. It was 45 days ago. I cut it back to about here. And so that's what it'll do in 45 days in full sun in Florida. Anyhow, I am going to, we've got I would just kind of let it go for a little while. I kind of don't want it to get too much out of proportion, but we do have a tropical storm coming tomorrow. And even the way that this thing is, it's already blown over a couple times, and it takes up a lot of room out there too and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut it back, get it safe for the storm. I have wire on, I have 4 of these, and I have wire on 2 of them. I know you can remove the thorns. I like to leave it on there. I think it adds to the character of the tree. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to try to go with a little bit of a strategy of coming up a node or 2 from where I pruned it last. I can see the prune mark right there from, actually it's right there from where I pruned it last. So I don't want to start pollarding it. If I make any mistakes, I can always chop really low as long as there's green down there. I think on a rain tree that wouldn't really even matter. I'd be kind of careful just because I only have a few of them. You have the alternating leaves, and say if you wanted this branch to grow this way, you'd cut it above that node there, and then that leaf would continue the branch out that way. Doesn't work 100% of the time, but it does work really well. And so, and I can see the old prune there. This sprouted out of that, which is someplace I really never planned on a branch coming out. And so I'll just eliminate that. This one, I don't want to eliminate altogether. I would rather have it kind of come out that way. Just because I am kind of experimenting with this, I do want to leave a few branches down here. If my idea of just coming up a couple nodes each time turns out to where it's something I don't like, I can always just kind of, like I said before, start over. And then this one even though I do want to leave some of that lower growth, but this one is a strong branch, kind of like gaining some momentum out of the side there, and I don't really want that to happen. I want it to grow. I want this to, when I originally bought my first rain tree, I had actually intended, you can see it in the videos in the playlist, but I intended on having a sacrifice branch, and then I was going to make just a nice rounded canopy or turn it into kind of a flat top, because that's what they kind of might naturally go. And then I wound up turning that one into a cascade. This one really does look better on that side than it does from the other way. Sometimes I struggle with, you try to make your bonsai look like a tree, but you don't want to make your tree look like a bonsai. And so I do just want to make this look like a tree. All right, and then this one is the one getting some major surgery today. Be able to give you guys a little bit of a closer look once I do eliminate that sacrifice branch. That's the plan for today. I have been, I've got this good strong branch on this side, which is a little bit thicker than this branch, which is a little lower than it. At one point, I was kind of using both of them as sacrifice branches, and I was planning on cutting it off and then just leaving the little crown there. But the more I looked at it, I got some wire on these, quote unquote sacrifice branches, and I'd like to keep them now. But now I'd like to, I could let this one go further, but again, just like the other one, it takes up a lot of room, and the wind just really does whip these around when they're out there by themselves. And I keep on having to, rearrange my trees out there, rearrange. And now we got a tropical storm coming tomorrow, so I'm going to need to even rearrange some other stuff, and I can't really let this one take up that much room. So I'm going to have to cut that sacrifice branch off. It hasn't quite caught up yet. If you do go back through the old playlist, this was a lot smaller than this size. I've been cutting back the apex pretty heavily and cutting back this side. I was planning on letting these two recover a little bit and kind of, cutting that back and doing this all at once. But with the storm coming and with me just kind of running out of room out there, it actually, the last couple times that I hit this, it really did seem to really push a ton of growth into this. This was more proportionate to this one that down, this part of it that has the wire on it down there. But it really did just kind of take off on me. All right, and that's better. And you can see from this side, the difference in thickness isn't quite so obvious as it is from this side. This side here, you can really see that one's a lot thicker than this one. And then since I got it in here too, this one has this decent secondary branch coming off there. This one comes out from right underneath of it, from an old prune mark there. And then I do still want this to just, I've been letting that gain momentum too. If you notice, it was, the tree will always take the easiest way to grow. And so, coming right out of the stump and just had that huge one there, it just took off. So I'll have to watch this wire really closely, but I am going to leave it on as long as possible here. So I'll let this should now really take off, because I haven't pruned this or anything down here in a long time. These two, the apex and then this branch have been recently pruned. And now that I cut that off, that should allow this side to even green back up a little more, but this side really take off. And I'll keep working it. Should be an interesting guy one day.